And welcome to the 4 to 5. I'm Stacy Spivey, joined with, oh, look at Monique Robinson dancing back there.
That music does make you want to dance.
It does. It does. And Lauren Coleman dancing over there. And look who is joining us today.
I guess I got to dance too here.
There you go. Ben Briscoe giving us
my move's not as good as these wonderful ladies.
But we are happy that you're joining us
Always
today.
a treat when you're on the show. And we're happy you're joining us too on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app.
Now, we have a lot to get to this afternoon, but we do want to start with developing news. A state investigation involving one triad home is in a legislative committee in Raleigh reviewed reports on Pine Ridge Rehab, the Thomasville nursing home accused of putting its residents in immediate jeopardy. The state report says police got a call from a resident on January 16th saying they hadn't seen a staff member in a long time. When they responded, police said they found 2 residents dead and 2 others in critical condition. The report says the nursing home acknowledged the problems and has taken steps to bring the facility back into compliance. Following the legislative meeting, we spoke with a woman whose mother lived at Pine Ridge Rehab during the incident. She says her mother was taken to the ER as a result of improper care.
I would find her a lot of times sitting in a wheelchair. She was sitting in that wheelchair all day long until I came there at night, and she was about to fall out of that wheelchair, and because mom couldn't walk and she couldn't feed herself.
Pine Ridge released a statement saying it is taking steps to address concerns identified by the state. It says it is focused on the safety and well-being of our residents and staff and has not had any positive employees with COVID testing or cases, since early February.
Now to the chaos ramping up in Ukraine. Delegates from both sides met again today as the battle on the ground heats up. Take a look at your screen here. Right now you can see smoke pouring from a building in a Ukrainian city as Russia's bombardment continues. Both Russian and Ukrainian tanks are battling each other. For 2 weeks now, the Kremlin has encircled the city, making it nearly impossible for civilians to leave. Last night, shelling in the capital city of Kyiv picked up. Here, you can see Russian forces hit another large apartment building in the attack. Ukrainian officials saying at least 2 civilians were killed. Reportedly, Russia has asked China to support its war efforts, but the White House is warning the Chinese not to get involved.
Should they provide military or other assistance that, of course, violates sanctions or supports the war effort, that there will be significant consequences.
Ukraine's president is scheduled to deliver a virtual address to Congress tomorrow. He's expected to urge U.S. lawmakers to send more military and humanitarian aid.
Now to the continued fight against the spread of COVID-19. Right now, we are monitoring the percentage of tests coming back positive in Guilford County. We've seen some really good numbers lately. The latest is 3%, well below that red line. It is in line with many of our recent numbers. Of the last 10 days, just 1 day has been above the county's goal of 5%. During that time, numbers range from 2.1 to 5.4%. Compare that to just 2 months ago when the county was reporting numbers as high as 33%. Back then, 1 in 3 tests was coming back positive. Now it's closer to 1 in 30. While the U.S. has mostly passed the Omicron variant peak, other nations are starting to see a surge. Right now, Omicron is spreading across China. Hundreds of people living in nursing homes are sick as the virus is passing through the unvaccinated elderly there. Officials say the spike in cases is bombarding hospitals and funeral homes. This week, the White House press secretary spoke about China's surge and how their approach has compared to the U.S.'s.
China has a zero tolerance policy, as you all know, but they also did not conduct their vaccination and booster campaigns with mRNA vaccines. So that is important context, too, as you're seeing the impact.
The press secretary again pushed for more funding for COVID relief in the United States. She says that money is needed to continue offering free testing and the big one, treatment for uninsured people. She says tens of millions of Americans do not have medical coverage, and when they show up to the hospital with COVID-19, it's federal money that gets them treated. She also says if more money doesn't come soon, those services could end, limiting the ability to respond to future variants.
Have you walked outside today, Monique? It was so nice. I had to take a couple laps in the parking lot before starting the show today.
Yeah, earlier today when heading outside, it was rather cool if you were in the shady spots, where if you were in the sun, it was like it's kind of warm. But if you've also noticed more recently, earlier today and even now, we're starting to see a little bit more cloud cover building in. And this is the far extent of the cloud canopy associated with this area of low pressure way back here. All of this is all associated with all of the same thing that's going to be bringing us some rain possibly tomorrow evening and continuing into the start of your Thursday morning. So we're starting to see those clouds overspread across the triad. Earlier today, like I said, there were a few clouds here and there, but now they're starting to be more widespread through this evening. You can see on our sky cams, West Wendover Avenue, UNC Greensboro picking up more of that cloud cover, looking more ominous over in Winston-Salem, and even some clouds there over top of Wake Forest University. The highs for today, though, were able to warm up. I mean, it felt really warm out there despite whatever the clouds were doing up in the sky. 66 is the high temperature for Greensboro, 67 in Winston-Salem. This is about the warmest time of the day, so we're kind of sitting around these temperatures still through this 4 p.m. hour. Tonight, temperatures are going to fall, but like I said, rain is on the way for tomorrow. Could even get a lingering few storms. I'll talk about it more coming up.
Racing legend Richard Childress is expanding his racing empire with a professional bull riding team in a new league. Yeah, the Carolina Chaos Bull Riding Team is coming to Winston-Salem. They will compete in the new PBR Team Series, which kicks off this summer. While Childress owns the team, another racing name will run it. NASCAR driver Austin Dillon, Childress' grandson, will serve as the general manager.
We're getting in it to win. We're not getting in it just to be here. And, you know, I'm counting on Jerome and all of our team to try to put together a really good, solid effort.
Now this is pretty awesome. I mean, how cool is that? You know, you like to go to the baseball arena with your family and stuff like that, but now you can go to a bull riding game.
I grew up in Texas, so bull riding is the thing there. Like every summer you go and you watch the rodeo and it was so fun. But it is so hard. Have you done the mechanical bulls?
I have never done it, but I've seen people do it. Have you done it?
There are muscles you didn't even know were in your body that you're going to feel when you do it. It's rough.
It's so dangerous too. I've seen so many videos of people flying off of them and then the bull comes running back trying to get them. It's just scary, but what a thrill to do that. I've never tried it. I don't know if I ever will, but you know, kudos to them for doing it.
I've always wanted to try a mechanical bull. I was talking to one of our producers earlier today, and I said every time I happened to be in a restaurant or so that did have one, I was not wearing the appropriate attire to get on one.
Yeah, that is important.
But that would be really fun to kind of participate and try.
Well, you know what I'm about to say. Sounds
Let's
like
get
another
one here.
4 to 5 team bonding.
I think you should have them bring one to the studio.
That would be pretty awesome.
Maybe we can make it as some charity fundraiser thing.
It'd be fun.
That would be interesting.
I'll just let y'all handle that. I'll just cheer you on the sidelines. But hey, that name, what was it, Carolina Chaos?
Yeah, Carolina Chaos.
I like it.
Yeah, I
good
like
one.
that
Very
too.
fitting.
I think this is really fun, something exciting and new to bring to the area.
I agree.
Even more excitement when we get back on the other side of this break.
Cardiovascular disease is the leading killer of women worldwide. Despite the statistics, women only represent 38% of research participants in clinical trials for heart disease. Dr. Cardi Taub is a non-invasive cardiologist with Cone Health. She is raising the issue on a national stage. Her commentary was recently published by the American Heart Journal Plus Cardiology Research and Practice. She says the lack of female participation leads to medical advancements based on research done on men. Dr. Taub says that means the early stages of heart disease in women may be overlooked.
Physiologically, we're different. Women heart are smaller than males. The way, for example, coronary artery disease present in women, symptom wise is different. And the way the plaques are built up, we have tinier vessels, so the plaques are built up. So you need very small plaque to cause symptoms. And in that, we are getting data that predominantly are for males or women. So the outcomes or data is different. So that's why the death rate technically it's more, because we don't have that information as we need for men.
Dr. Taub and her co-authors cite several reasons why the research gap exists. Studies find men are more willing to take risks than women in medical trials, and they have an element of risk in them as well. Women are also more likely to be caregivers and may see clinical trials as taking time away from those roles.
Once we create that awareness, we can educate that, these are the things that you would need to do to be able to participate in a research study. Own your health. And as we own our health, we're all going to have to work together to make things better. We can't always wait for the next person to make it better. If we do it better together, it's going to build a good system for all of us.
For those who may be interested in participating in a clinical trial, Dr. Taub says you can go online and search for different clinical trials in your area. She recommends you talk with your primary care doctor or specialist once you find a trial you would like to take part in. Well, I find this to be very interesting because this is something I actually have not thought about. I didn't know that there was such a low amount of women participating in these trials. But what I like about the research that she's done is they look at why women aren't participating and what can be done to get us to participate.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of brings a good point to whenever we take information, we have to know where's the source coming from, because when you first hear the statistic you initially spoke of about women and how they deal with these heart disease issues, if a lot of the information that they're doing is based on men mostly being in the clinical trials, if you only take the conclusion, you don't know where it started from, it's really important in general life whenever we hear stuff like that, that we know all of which that came into play to get to that final conclusion, if that makes sense.
Right, and I think a lot of people have this kind of fear, like, oh, I don't want to be a guinea pig. I don't want people like researching me and everything. But if people do not go forward and do these kind of trials and are part of them, then how in the world are we ever going to find out or learn anything new from it? So it's important that we all do our part and help with research, whether it be someone that is a part of a clinical trial or if we can help, donate money to it. I think it's so important because it's our future. Think about our daughters that we want their hearts to be good for years to come,
Yeah, I was also thinking when we talk about representation, right? When it comes to having these trials, it's important that we have diversity in the trial because we need all those diverse issues to be addressed when that study takes place. So it's important that you have more women, but also minority women and other different parties that are also involved in the initial clinical trial so that when the results come out, it speaks to all of those different demographics.
And she touches upon that same exact topic in her research as well. And another thing she wanted to drive home was just if you are afraid, if you do happen to sign one of those forms to participate, you can pull out if you ever get into a situation where you don't feel comfortable. So I'll have the details on when you can read more on her paper on our website. Well, in today's YouDay moment, Coach Lamont reiterates the importance of defining your destiny.
Purpose is the key to life fulfillment, but you can't fulfill it until you first realize it. Today is the time to bury your doubts. Reality is that one day we're all going to find ourselves in the grave, but you aren't there now. That means that the decisions you make today can change the fabric of your life. You still have time to make life what you want. So tell the grave, you will not take my dreams. You will not take my intended purpose. I was created to make a difference in this world, not deposit my purpose and my life into the bank of the graveyard. You were created for such a time as this. The grave can have your doubts, but they can't have your life and your dreams. The grave can wait. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best YouDay. I'll see you tomorrow.
I talked about rain earlier. No need to worry about it for today, but tomorrow that is a different story. Now, the Storm Prediction Center does clip our area, keeping us in the non-severe factor, but we could see some rumbles of thunder or hear some rumbles of thunder late Wednesday night going into early Thursday, but for the most part, we'll just be looking at showers. So as of now, temperature is still very warm, mostly cloudy skies, and as we go through the day on Wednesday, those clouds sticking around. Temperatures barely getting out of the 50s, kind of staying the upper 50s, low 60s. You saw that rain kind of move through the area. More rain continuing overnight, very scattered though. You see these pockets that are hitting in between the showers. That's showing you how it's not going to be a continuous washout, but we'll have some scattered showers across the area. Maybe, like I said, even some rumbles of thunder, but things quickly clearing as we go into early part of your Thursday, making for late part of your Thursday, St. Patrick's Day being not too shabby across the area. So overall, looking at a great evening for any outdoor plans across the area, and temperatures getting to be a bit warmer as compared to Wednesday. Now, Wednesday late day will also be dealing with some strong wind gusts at times through the afternoon. So maybe upwards of roughly 20 miles per hour, even 25 miles per hour as we go throughout the afternoon on Wednesday, and then early Thursday, those winds will start to taper off as well as those showers. So that's the main story that you need to know, at least for the next 2 days. The weekend does feature another cold front crossing the area late Friday, early Saturday time frame, and that will also bring in some showers with it. But Sunday, that first official day of spring, according to astronomers, is expected to be dry and warm.
Get your green clothes ready. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner on Thursday, and one city is really going to pump up the volume this year. Burlington St. Patty's Day Bash is back in action, and the city says it is expected to bring out thousands of people. WFMY News 2's Eric Chilton spoke with Special Events Director about how this year's event will go down.
Well, Caitlin, everybody's excited. I mean, everybody loves St. Patty's Day. It's a reason to get out and party and have a great time. But now things were different for you guys for a couple of years. Talk about that and what we can expect this year.
So the past 2 years, we've been doing small scavenger hunts for St. Patrick's Day. This year we're excited to actually have a full-blown event. There's food trucks, live music, dance performances. We have local community vendors that are coming out. Yeah, it should be streets filled with green and fun. And
We go back to 2017, 2018, and 19. Everything was, you did these festivals, but now you've been kind of dark for 2 years. Are you expecting bigger crowds this year? What's the talk?
I think that we're going to be expecting a pretty good crowd. It's our first large in-person event since COVID began. So I think if good weather holds out and it's really nice, we could see upwards of 4,000 to 5,000 people in downtown Burlington for this event.
And this is the type of thing where it's just kind of a come and go, right? The festival will be going on from how long to how long, and people can just kind of pop in and out.
The family fun portion will be from 5 to 8, and then beer and food and the last band will go until 9 o'clock. So the family portion is like community vendors, all of the dance performances, stuff like that that's appropriate for children. And then bands and food will continue until 9.
And I love the fact that you have Irish dance groups. That's huge.
Yes, we love them. It's Walsh Kelly School of Irish Dance. They came out in 2019. The community loved them, so we're having them out again this year.
This is perfect. Just what we need. More green in our lives. Thank you so much, Caitlin. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
More dancing. Look at this.
I love the Irish dancing. They're just so in sync. It's really incredible to see. If you've ever seen it live, I have.
And they do
It's
their
pretty
arms
cool.
like really straight, and they don't move them at all. And like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be Irish, but
Then
I'm
it's
not.
like, what did I get myself into today?
You know what? I was a good sport. I danced early. I can sit
Yeah,
this
you
one
did.
out.
That's true.
I am so excited for big events like this to return. It's like really the first big one post-COVID.
Yeah, and people feel more comfortable now. A
Yeah.
lot of people have been vaccinated, and we're just ready to get out the house, get some live music, have a little bubbly.
But I do have one thing that we need to clear up here. It is 2022, and pinching people if they're not wearing green is not okay anymore.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. So if you guys don't wear green on Thursday, might get a little pinch from me. It'll be soft,
I feel like we
though.
got to come up with something better.
Like what?
Maybe you shame them on social media, or I don't know. Pinching just seems so wrong.
Childish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think of something.
Let us
I want to know what
know.
the legend is behind that. Like,
Yeah,
why
like,
do
who
you
created
pinch
that?
someone?
I sense a story coming up.
Sounds like a 2 cents too. Why do
We'll
we
see.
pinch on St. Patrick's Day?
Hey, keep in mind, if you are going to go out and celebrate St. Patty's Day, law enforcement is beefing up sobriety road checks too. They're encouraging people to find alternate ways home if you're drinking during the Booze It and Lose It campaign. So please stay safe and have fun out there. We need
Go,
a wide
Lauren,
shot.
go.
Yeah,
Go,
there you
Lauren,
go.
Go, Lauren, go. She's working. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Today is a special day here at WFMY because our very own Lauren Coleman is celebrating her 1-year anniversary as a part of the News 2 family. There she is right there.
Oh, thank
Lauren,
you guys.
I'm so excited that you've been here. You brought such a life and energy to the station, especially this show. I love hearing your comments because you stay on top of the news so well and you always have a good perspective on stuff.
Oh, thank you
You
guys.
really do.
Well, I've enjoyed working with you both as well.
Yeah, we are so happy that you're here. You have a kind heart. You have a huge passion for storytelling. You're a huge Orange Theory fanatic. We hear about that all the time. She's also the queen of scaring people in the newsroom. She got me last week, big time.
So Lauren's favorite thing, you never see it on camera, there's a mirror right around the edge of the studio and she likes to hide behind the mirror until you go and you like check your tie and your teeth and she'll jump out and go boom real fast.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
I've even scared some managers doing that.
It's hilarious. But if you missed it yesterday or if you missed it on her second day here, she can freestyle too.
So I just came to WFMY, and this crew is really fly. I came here to tell the news, so you can count on News 2. Eric and Maddie are lots of fun. Jalen and Christian are #1. So sit back and relax your feet because the 4 to 5 is coming with that heat. Oh my goodness.
Chilton the beatboxing
Yeah,
too.
he was perfect. That felt like yesterday, but also so long ago.
Now
as
available
well.
on iTunes
Yes.
too, right?
Yeah, the mixtape is coming soon. But I love working with you guys. We have a lot of fun, and it's just exciting to be a part of a show like this where we can rap or we can river dance and just really show our personality. So you guys have made it so wonderful for me.
Yeah.
Hey, did we get a cake for this?
For
Your
me?
1-year anniversary, yeah.
Yeah.
We should get a cake after this.
We just wanted an excuse
Don't
to
you
eat,
think?
to
Oh.
eat cake,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I thought you were about to say y'all were about to surprise me with the cake.
Oh, I wish. I will, here's a pretend cake for you. to
Okay,
celebrate.
thank you guys. No, but this was really sweet. I really appreciate it, and I'm so excited. Again, as I've said before, working with you guys, it's really been great for me emotionally.
So what has been the best part, like your favorite memory, I guess, so far? Year #1.
That is tough, talking about the favorite memory. Honestly, I would have to say my debut show was the best when we did the trivia and we did the lightning round, because I was actually really nervous. I was like, I do not want to sound crazy on television, but it ended up being really well. And it's just been a wild roller coaster here on the 4 to 5.
Well, we are happy you're here, and we're happy you're joining us as well. We'll be back with more with the 4 to 5 after this break. Stay with us.
Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mic check, Jalen. No thanks. No thanks. Sorry. Ha. Yeah, I did grab an IFB, Brad. I've got 5. The one Avery's supposed to have. The one Avery's supposed to have. Yeah, I got you.
Nice.
Oh, am I supposed to have my physical bracket?
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination. Okay, next time I will not make it that way because I think it's worth seeing the votes. But.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Ben Briscoe, Stacey Spivey, and Monique Robinson.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
1 year. If you missed it, today is Lauren's 1 year anniversary here at News 2.
Thank you so much, you guys, and thank you for joining us as well on Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFMY News 2 app. We're going to go ahead and jump into our top story. Let's top things off with the intense battle ramping up Ukraine.
People are running out of water, electricity, gas for heating, access to medical services. The situation is really untenable, unbearable for civilians.
Today, Russian and Ukraine officials held another round of talks aimed at a ceasefire. The Kremlin has somewhat stalled the ground attacks and has decided to step up the airstrikes. President Joe Biden is expected to travel to Europe next week for face-to-face talks with European leaders. There are talks of the president visiting Poland when he makes the trip, but that's not set in stone just yet.
Since Russia's invasion into Ukraine, the Triad has stepped up to support the thousands of refugees. Right now, UNCG is working with nurses in Moldova, seeing the highest number of patients. The university says healthcare workers there don't know how to care for the growing number of wounded people they're encountering. More than 500 nurses and Moldova leaders logged onto a webinar put on by UNCG's nursing school. They talked about how scary and horrible conditions are and said they're seeing many of the war-related injuries for the first time. Dr. Snyder with UNCG's nursing program says the information shared will help better serve refugees and support the nurses.
To focus on public health concerns associated with refugee populations and how to manage nursing care in refugee camps. Common disease processes that historically have been a challenge in refugee camps. What are the signs and symptoms and how are they treated? So that ahead of time they have this knowledge that they can then put to use and use.
Dr. Snyder also says right now there are leaders in Moldova who have refugees in their homes because their camps and churches are overflowing.
So here's the question. How do you order your food? Things have changed in the last year between COVID and gas prices rising. So now, do you order it in person more or less than you use a food delivery app? According to Hotel Tech Report, as of March 2020, 38% of American consumers ordered food via a food delivery app. But by March 2021, 47% of Americans had used a food delivery app, illustrating just how significantly the pandemic affected the whole food delivery industry. So now let's talk about it. Let's talk some food apps. What are your go-tos?
Listen, I hear food and apps, and I don't think of technology. I think of nachos,
Oh
mozzarella sticks. It's just not my thing. I feel like I'm going to make it at home, or I want to go actually experience in a restaurant in person and get the food there.
Okay.
I still have my moments where I'm feeling a little lazy, so I'll use the DoorDash app. That's my go-to.
Okay. How about you, Stacey?
I don't really use the apps a lot unless I want to look up the menu before I go to a restaurant.
Interesting.
But the restaurant's apps, not like DoorDash or anything. But yeah, no, I haven't really done that much.
Not even the Chick-fil-A app that you downloaded so you can get like
the points,
extra points?
No, I need to do that though.
Yes, you do. You could I just got a free sandwich like 2 weeks ago.
And that's worth it. All right.
Yes.
All right, here's this next question. Can you guess what the 2 most downloaded food delivery or online ordering apps were in 2020?
I'm just going to guess DoorDash and Uber Eats because those are the only ones I have on my phone.
Uber Eats for sure.
Grubhub too, right? That's one
Oh, that is one.
All right, let's take a look. Survey says Uber Eats and McDonald's both saw 82 million global downloads in 2020. DoorDash saw 44 million downloads. Now, how does this compare to other apps? Well, Google Maps had 88 million during that time. Tinder had 74 million and eBay had 51 million downloads in 2020. Now, Uber Eats and Mickey D's far ahead of everyone else for sure, don't you think? All right, as you can imagine, rising gas prices are being passed on to folks getting delivery. Starting tomorrow, Wednesday, March the 16th, Uber is adding a gasoline surcharge on fares and deliveries. So riders, you're going to pay a fee of 45 to 55 cents per trip, depending on the location. Uber Eats delivery folks, you're going to have a 35 to 45 cent surcharge. Uber says these are temporary surcharges. Now, Lyft says they are adding a temporary surcharge as well. We're not really sure at this point how much that's going to be. When it comes to DoorDash, there's no fuel surcharge. Let me get that out as of yet. But don't we all kind of see something coming? And as for Grubhub, the company has increased what they pay drivers to offset the rise in gas prices, but that has not been passed on to the consumer. And I'm going to use this word again, yet. It's not passed on to the consumer yet. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, instead of doing delivery food, today might be a good day to go outside and eat somewhere at a restaurant, right, Monique?
Yeah, I mean, walking outside never hurt nobody, and definitely not today as weather conditions are nice, but definitely gonna need that allergy medicine today, tomorrow, and even the next day as tree pollen is remaining high, at least for your Wednesday, moderate Thursday, and then high again on Friday. So that tree pollen certainly making a mess across the area. I walked outside today, I already had pollen accumulating on my phone. That pollen is gonna get nasty as we continue throughout this spring season. This area of low pressure also making for quite a mess on our radar as it continues to ride up along the south and east, bringing in some showers late tomorrow night and continuing into the early part of your Thursday. So here's a look at the long range forecast model, a case scenario of what we can expect. That's rain starting late Wednesday, going into early part of Thursday, breaking up, clearing skies Thursday night, going into early Friday, late Friday, going into Saturday, more rain is possible, all of which we're talking light showers, not complete washouts, more scattered in nature, not necessarily widespread showers and rainfall for everyone, but looking at scattered showers and even some storms as we go overnight Wednesday into Thursday. But overall, the weekend ahead looking to be dry, and Thursday evening for St. Patrick's Day. Good night for folks to head on downtown.
Not only is it Equal Pay Day, but we're also in the final hours before the official start of the NCAA tournament. Jalen, I can't wait.
And I can't wait either, Lauren. Coming up on the other side of this break, we'll hear from your North Carolina Tar Heels as they try to redeem themselves in this year's tournament after a disappointing first-round exit in Indianapolis last year. WFMY News 2, we'll be right back.
All right, I am talking about the rowdy fans, how to keep it in the living room and not out on the court. Actually, I meant it the other way.
Are you ready for March Madness? Today is the day of the 2022 men's NCAA basketball tournament.
No matter if your team's still alive or not, we're going to bring you all the action right here on WFMY News 2.
Our very own Jalen Gilkey, who heard from our local favorites as they prepare for their first round matchup this Thursday. Jalen?
Yeah, guys, time is ticking away on Coach Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels as they are just about 48 hours from their NCAA first-round matchup with Marquette. And after last year's untimely first-round exit, Coach and the guys can't wait to get that bad taste out their mouth.
Heading into the NCAA tournament, that's a part that's really exciting for me. Is for the, compared to what we went through last year in Indianapolis, this is going to be very different. So not trying to prepare them, just really excited for them that they get to experience what the NCAA tournament is about.
Just the feeling of it, just knowing like there was no more basketball to be played left. Us as a team, we'll never get that team back, and it just wasn't a good feeling. That's something that Coach Davis kind of talked to us about yesterday, just we're not going out how we did last year.
UNC won't be the only Carolina team playing this Thursday. The Duke Blue Devils are the #2 seed in the West bracket. Their first round matchup with Cal State Fullerton will tip off right here on WFMY News 2 this Thursday at 7:10 p.m. I suggest you don't miss a single moment of the action.
Yeah, Jalen, you're not the only one pumped about this year's tournament. We want to get in on the competition, 4 to 5 style, of course. Each of us have actually prepared our very own Final Four brackets with our top 4 teams. So Ben, you want to go ahead and start us off?
Okay, before you see this, you need to know it's going to put a bee in someone's bonnet. But take a look. Here you go.
Okay.
I really just think, here's why.
That's a cop-out.
I'm not even really that big of a Duke fan, but I think it'd be such an interesting, emotional story and moment to have Coach K there.
It would,
Yeah.
but this is still a cop-out.
It is.
That's funny. Okay, Lauren.
Well played, though.
All right, so I didn't really have a lot of rhyme and reason for why I chose mine, but I got Gonzaga, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, and North Carolina. Gonzaga because everybody says they're gonna win. Tennessee because I used to live in Tennessee. Virginia because I'm from Virginia, and North Carolina because I currently live in North Carolina.
That's
good
interesting,
reasonings.
Because you went to the University of Virginia.
Yes, I did.
And you picked Virginia
Yeah,
Tech
you
to
know.
make it.
Listen,
She was trying to come up with reasons to
those
pick
are
people.
decent reasons. I have a friend that once picks their bracket just off what color the team's uniforms were.
Okay.
And did pretty well. So
Hey,
you never know what's going to work.
You really don't. I used to pick based off their cheerleading squads, but here are my Final Four picks. Duke because of Coach K, like you said, Ben, Tennessee because my in-laws and my husband, huge Tennessee fans. Baylor, I think that's self-explanatory because my daughter's name's Baylor. But also they won last year, so I think that they also have a good chance. And then Kansas because when I was doing the bracket, filling it out, they were the ones that seemed to keep on winning.
I think what this means is you need 3 more kids. You need a Kansas, a Tennessee.
Are you going to birth them?
She said she's done. She's
done.
done.
Anyway, Jalen, your Final Four.
All right, guys, as you can see, my Final Four teams right here. I got Gonzaga out the West. I think they're the unanimous #1 pick. Pretty much everyone's favorite. I got Arizona, who's only lost 3 games all year.
Yeah,
I actually
they're good.
have them winning the whole thing. I got them taking down. I got them coming out the South, and I got Virginia Tech. Like you, I just think they were so hot coming out the ACC tournament, and they're ready to roll. And then I have Kansas coming out the Midwest. I think they just been too dominant, and they're going to get a little home cooking.
So I have 2 out of the 4 that you have. So I feel like I probably picked some good teams then, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know Arizona, though, I had a hard time putting Tennessee beating them, but I felt like I had to support the fam, right?
I got to do what you got to do.
Right? Okay, so I posted this question to my Facebook page, and I want to show you some of your picks. Maggie is all in Carolina Tar Heels. Sally, this is my Aunt Sally from Arkansas, so of course she said Arkansas, Woo Pig Suey, Tennessee, Gonzaga, and Kentucky. Ann has picked Gonzaga, Arizona, Kentucky, and Wisconsin. For Mason, it's Duke, UCLA, Tennessee, and Kansas, and Curtis has Gonzaga, Arizona, Kentucky, and Wisconsin in his Final Four. So Gonzaga seems to be...
They better pull through because everybody has them as number 1.
Who do they play first?
They play a 16 seed. They have to have a play-in game depending on who wins today. So we don't actually have.
So we'll find out.
For them.
Okay. Well, we will see. We'll revisit our brackets Monday, March 28th after each of these teams face off in the Elite 8. So be sure to tune in that day to see who won.
Do we win something for this? Like a raise or?
A clap,
A
pat
firm
on the back.
Congratulations.
Congratulations from Jalen Gilkey. That's what you get.
You know, we might not win anything, but there are going to be some heated arguments, I have a feeling, about some of these games in the NCAA tournament. Right now, we are joined live by Blanca Cobb, who has a master's degree in psychology, with an important reminder as we head into this competition. Blanca, how do we all get along when we're on different teams?
You have to realize that people have really strong allegiance to their teams. There's a personal identification, not who the team is, what they represent. Sometimes it has to do with the venue in which they're playing that just brings memories or experiences that they've had there. And also, there's really a commonality, almost a common bond that you have with people. I know when I go see Chapel Hill, the Carolina Tar Heels play, and I'm at an away game, if I see someone with Carolina blue, all you have to do is say "Go Heels" and someone responds. It's immediately you have something in common and you can talk about. And so it's that affiliation that is really strong.
Okay, but what if you see someone who's the opposite team and things start heating up, you start talking at each other? Where's the line that you don't want to cross?
Well, what you don't want to do is get offensive. You have to have a sports mindset when you're watching a game with people who like a different team than you do. There's going to be some ribbing. People are going to be upset with bad calls and bad plays, right? There are going to be some booyahs when their team really scores and is playing powerfully. So that's to be expected. It's when it becomes insulting to either to you or to the other team, where it's inflammatory, that's when people cross the line, because then it's not good sports person conduct.
Okay, so the other person crosses the line. What do? Do you call them on it? Do you just walk away? What's the better option here?
Well, you do both. So it really depends, Ben. So what you can do is wait until there's a timeout or a commercial break, and you just bring it to their attention. Say, hey, I'm not sure if you realize, but this is what I'm noticing. See what they have to say. Sometimes people are so into the game, they're not even thinking about the impact of their behavior or their words on somebody else. Some people will be like, that's your problem, not mine. If they take that stance, then if you're in the stands and you really have to show some body language of disengagement and ignoring them, but if you're in the living room watching it, then just remove yourself, get away from that person. Sometimes you have to be the bigger person to make sure that the battle stays on the court and not in the living room.
Well, Blanca, thanks so much for joining us. Always good advice, and I hope that I get to hear you scream booyah a couple more times, because that was fun. We'll be right back.
Tonight will be a rather warm night as compared to last night or the night before, as temperatures fall to the upper 40s. 47 degrees the forecast low, and tomorrow we're rebounding to the low 60s, kind of barely reaching that number with a lot of cloud cover out there. We won't really reach that warm of a temperature as compared to like what we felt today. Also looking at the chance for some PM rain. Here's a timeline for the next 48 hours. Clouds increasing and showers possible after lunchtime, and then continuing for the afternoon, late day, evening of your Wednesday. Heavy rain and even storms possible early part of your Thursday. I'm talking really early. I mean, the rain comes to an end by about 9 a.m. We could see some gusty winds like I showed earlier in this 4 p.m. newscast, with a lot of that shower activity across the area. Clouds clearing quickly and giving way to a dry St. Patrick's Day evening. Over the next 7 days, a lot of us will see some rain. Some of us won't, but for the most part, when we talk about our rainfall totals through the next 7 days, that includes the rain system tomorrow and the one Friday night going into Saturday. The rainfall totals should stay around about a half of inch. Some folks maybe a little bit more, some less, but for the most part, we are looking at around a half of inch according to this legend. So the 7-day, one more time, here you have it before this 4 p.m. hour ends. We're seeing a lot of warm temperatures, more 70s, especially as we start the week out next week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Microphone check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11.
1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4.
Hi, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
Yeah, once you reach a certain age.
Let's see what this voter does.
I mean, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check.
It's time for my 2 cents. March is a special month for my family, with many birthdays and celebrations. It's also a month to spread awareness about something very close to our hearts: multiple sclerosis. It's National MS Awareness Month. It's an unpredictable disease that impacts the central nervous system with symptoms like numbness, memory problems, blindness, and even paralysis. According to the National MS Society, nearly 1 million people live with MS in the U.S. One of those is my mom, Susan. From the outside, you can never tell what she's experiencing on the inside. She goes to line dancing classes weekly, helps run the athletic museum in my hometown, and is a caregiver to my grandmother. She's full of life. She's never met a stranger. She is the best mom, wife, and grandparent. But some days can be very difficult for her. Often, her leg will go completely numb. There are several days that she wakes up after a full night's rest feeling exhausted. There's treatment to help day to day, but there's no cure. My mom doesn't let that hold her back from living life to the fullest. She may have retired from teaching after 36 years, but I think she is still teaching us all how to be strong, resilient, and joyful no matter the circumstances. I hope her story inspires you to keep finding the fun in life and to not let anything hold you back, whether it be a disease or just a difficult season of life. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Get ready to pay more for that Uber or Lyft ride. How the companies are trying to offset the rising cost of gas.
Plus, we're learning more about the Greensboro USPS employee who had his arm